So the Attorney General has released a statement in regards to Adrianna Smith, and the statement states that the heartbeat law is not forcing a pregnant woman who has been declared brain dead to stay on life support. There is nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep that pregnant woman on life support after she's been declared brain dead. Removing life support is not an action with purpose to terminate a pregnancy. I think this is going to give Adrianna Smith's family legal action against Emory University Hospital because they forcing this woman to be on life support, and they're trying to say that they gave this rule to the family that they could not take her off of life support based on A, B, C, and D. But the Attorney General is saying, not really, hon. We didn't say that, and that's not what this says. So whatever their motive is for trying to blame it on state law is not accurate information. And they will need to be providing them an updated reason as to why they're forcing them to not be able to make a decision that they will want to make. Whether that is to keep the pregnancy, whether that is to terminate the pregnancy, they have been removed from having the ability to have that right because y'all came in there and said, this is what this says, this is what we have to do, and that's in this all. And then the Attorney General is releasing a statement that says, actually, that's not what that says, and that's not what we mean. Why y'all say that on them people? That's not okay. It's not okay. Absolutely unacceptable. So I don't know if Adrianna Smith's family has been receiving like unwanted conversations from people because they did try to reach out to her to get a statement from her over the weekend, and she has not been responding. So I don't know if she, is probably getting backlash because my comment section, I've been cussing people out all weekend. All weekend. And I will continue to cuss y'all out. So I would assume that she has maybe gotten some unwanted conversations from people who think that they know right about her and her family. But hopefully soon an attorney will be helping them by stepping in so that they can make the decision that is correct and right for them based on their family and based on what Adrianna Smith would have wanted, which she probably would have stated to them prior to this. Yeah, but that's the update on that. I wish them luck because this is unacceptable. Unacceptable, Georgia.
So the AJC just released an article about Adrianna Smith's case. So in this case, the Attorney General has released a statement at the behest of Senator Parks, who is a state senator from Georgia, who wrote a letter asking what is going on here. So Attorney General has said, there is nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep a woman on life support after brain death. Removing life support is not an action with the purpose to terminate a pregnancy. They are being very clear that, hey, we have this law in place, but the law says this is not what you're supposed to be doing. So now we know that it is the hospital, not in a kind of a catch-22. What do we do? What are we not allowed to do? But now it's like, this is what you're doing voluntarily. So we have some legs, the family has some legs to stand on to say that this is now illegal. Why are you doing this? And if they continue to do this, we can surmise that the hospital is serving someone's interest. The question is, whose interests are they serving? I still say that this is an experiment at the expense of this woman and her family's well-being, and that other states and other pro-life organizations are looking to see if they can get away with this kind of action. Someone else in the comments said that this happened in Ireland before, and it ended up that the woman's family was able to get justice and let her go on. But I heard someone else say that there had been talk about using women who were in comas as incubators, and that there hadn't been any data to support this. This would be the data. This would be the data.
So we have a little bit of an update in the Adrianna Smith case that I would like to go over. And just really quick, this is the mother that is in Georgia that is brain dead, who's being kept on life support to preserve the life of her fetus. Pro-choicers on this app have been running lives all day long. I've been seeing them on the Adrianna Smith case, and women should not be used as incubators and all of this stuff. And despite being shown plenty of evidence to support that it is in fact the advanced directive law in Georgia that is causing the whole conundrum with the Adrianna Smith case, and it is not, in fact, the heartbeat law in Georgia or the abortion bans that are causing this. They are still heavily in denial that this is going on, despite showing both laws, the language of the laws, the way that the laws read, all of that. They are still completely in denial. And one of the things that I've seen them say all day is, oh, we have statements now from the hospital that just came out today. We have statements from attorneys now that just came out today, and they are siding with the fact that this is the abortion bans that are the problem. It's not. When you go and read the articles, that is not what they're saying. They are actually, in fact, saying the opposite. So here is the statement issued by Emory Hospital Midtown, where Adrianna Smith is currently on life support. They were very strategic in what they stated, and I was very diligent in highlighting just the quotations from their statement and not any of the other media narrative that is clearly being mixed in here. When you specifically read the quotes from what they said, they are not pointing towards the heartbeat bill. So they say, Emory Hospital Midtown in a statement to Atlanta News First. So what they used was consensus from clinical experts, medical literature, and legal guidance to support our providers as they made individualized treatment recommendations. Our top priorities continue to be the safety and well-being of the patients that we serve. They considered Georgia's abortion laws and all other applicable laws, because that's their job. As a hospital, they have to look at all legislation as an entirety and determine what to do in this case. The other applicable laws is the Advanced Directive Law, you guys. Next up, we have a quote from the Attorney General of Georgia, Chris Carr. He literally is stating that the Smith family is basically lying, because up until this point, we've only had quotes from the Smith family stating that they were told that it was the abortion law keeping Adrianna on life support and why they could not remove her, right? We don't have anything written down from the hospital or any statements from any professionals of any kind. This is the first time that we're seeing them come out with any type of statements on this case. And so he is actually stating the opposite of what the family said. He says, there is nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep a woman on life support after brain death. Removing life support is not an action, quote, with the purpose to terminate a pregnancy, end quote. And that last piece is a quote that is taken directly from the legislation or the abortion ban in Georgia, right? Literally, right here, you have a lawyer who is straight up telling you that there is nothing in the abortion bill that keeps her on life support. It is, in fact, the advanced directive that is causing all of the confusion here.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you are watching this video. This is an update in the case of Adrianna Smith, the lady who was pronounced brain dead on February 19th, 2025 at 9 weeks pregnant. So April, the mother of Adrianna Smith, a pregnant Georgia woman who loved ones say was declared brain dead in February. April said her daughter's baby is showing signs of improvement, even as questions around medical decisions and consent in state laws continue to grow. Adrianna Smith, 30, was 9 weeks pregnant when her mother, April, said she went to Northside Hospital in early February for what she described as a severe headache. Within hours, she was unresponsive. Her family later learned that she suffered blood clots in her brain and was declared brain dead. Now 22 weeks pregnant, Adrianna remains on life support at Emory University Hospital, Midtown, where she was transferred last week. Doctors plan to keep her on machines until early August, when they hope to deliver her baby via C-section. On Monday, April shared that her unborn grandson, who the family has named Chance, has continued to grow. The baby is actually doing better than the last time I met with the doctors, April said. April explained Adrianna is receiving steroids and nutrition through a PICC line. She added that baby Chen's heartbeat is strong and that he's measuring slightly above average in weight for his gestational age. He has his toes, arms, limbs. Everything is forming, April said. We're just hoping he makes it, but the family hope is clouded by frustration. April said Georgia's heartbeat law, which prohibits most abortion once cardiac activity is detected, mostly around 6 weeks, prevented from making any decision about continuing the pregnancy. We didn't have a choice, or a say about it, April said. We want the baby. That's part of my daughter. But the decision should have been left to us, not the state. However, on Friday, Georgia General Attorney Chris Carr's communications office issued a statement about the matter in question. There is nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep a woman on life support after brain death. Removing life support is not an action with the purpose to terminate a pregnancy, wrote Carr's spokeswoman. Our prayers go out to the woman's family. Adrianna leaves behind one child already, and April said it has been emotionally devastating to see her daughter kept alive by machines. Every time we go to see her, we grieve, we hurt, April said. The grieving process can't even begin because she's just lying there. April believes her daughter's condition could have been prevented. Adrianna was given high-potency Tylenol during her visit to Northside, but never received a CT scan that might have detected the clots earlier. A simple CT scan could have saved her life, April said. She was a 30-year-old mother chasing her dreams. It just doesn't make sense. The family said they are now focused on reaching August 11th, the projected date in which April said doctors feel baby Chance could be safely delivered. After that, April said they will have to face another painful decision to whether to remove life support. That's what I have a hard time with, April said, but right now the journey is for baby Chance to survive, and whatever condition a God allows him to come in, we're going to love him just the same. Adrianna's story has gained international attention, sparking debate around medical ethics, reproductive rights, and Georgia's abortion law. The family has launched an online fundraiser to help cover medical and travel costs as they remain close to Emory in the coming months. My opinion, this woman is being used as an experiment. Because if the Attorney General is coming out saying there's no need for life support, this woman is being used as an experiment. And I agree that the family should, sue them. They should sue both hospitals for negligence and denying this woman the right to die. I mean, she's dead, but refusing her body to lay and rest. The family should make this decision because the mother is next of kin, because her son is too young to even say anything. And I understand the frustration as a mother, and I understand you want your grandson, but it was already too late. It was already too late. And they shouldn't, they just should have let that girl just go and the baby with her. So this woman is being used as an experiment because they're saying that the doctors are going by statistics that they were shown. So that's why the providers are doing this. But, I think that they're wanting to do it all on their own since the law does not prevent this. All right, you guys. The state general attorney, as is stated in the last article, the heartbeat law should not be guiding the statement of a pregnant woman being declared brain dead at Emory. The heartbreaking story has left this woman on life support for some 3 months, right? And then this idiot, State Senator Ed Stelcher, said, "I'm thankful for the hospital recognizing the full value of this small human life." He needs to be shot with shit and out of the fucking law, making laws and shit, because he made this heartbeat law back in 2019. And it's just so sad that you got these fucking retarded ass people making these fucking laws and using people, regular human beings, black, white, Asian, whatever, as experiments. But they won't use their own wives as experiments. Okay, some backers of the Georgia's heartbeat law said Friday it doesn't specifically address the issue in Adrianna's case, where nobody is talking about abortion, but rather a pregnant woman who is brain dead should be kept alive. Our reading of the situation in this particular circumstance was not intended nor does it apply with the heartbeat law. Was among those at the Capitol lobbying in favor of the heartbeat law. But in this case, it says Emory's decision shouldn't have been based on the restrictive abortion law, which means the hospital is doing this on their own. Because if they wouldn't, they would have been unplugged her, and she would have went bye-bye. So Friday afternoon, Chris Carr's, the Attorney General Communications Office, issued a statement saying there is nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep a woman on life support after brain death. Removing life support is not an action with the purpose of termination of pregnancy. Okay? So basically, they're doing this as an experiment to see if this baby will live or if this baby will die, if this baby will come out, if this baby won't come out with, any elements. This is just an experiment. This is a test. And who knows if this hospital did this to other people. We don't know. This is just the first time that we are hearing about this. So now that the Attorney General is coming out, what do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Do you think this woman is being experimented on? Do you think Ivory Hospital has the right to keep her on life for the baby? Let me know. But I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, if the mother died, did the baby have a heartbeat still? I'm thinking about that, and that raises another question. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head. Have a great day, YouTube.
So we have news in regards to Adrianna Smith. The Georgia Attorney General issued a statement basically saying that Georgia's Life Act, also known as the fetal heartbeat law, does not require hospitals to keep a brain dead woman on life support. They even emphasize that removing life support is not an action with the purpose of terminating the pregnancy. So with that being said, who this for? Because I hate to keep saying it the way I'm saying it, but it is what it is. This woman is brain dead. Her family wants to pull the plug. What are y'all trying to keep this baby for? I stand 10 toes down on what I said on my last video. Go clock it. This is an experiment. They tried transplant uteruses. They tried to build a baby in a machine. Now they're trying to see if a brain dead body can function to make a baby. Handmaid's tale, honey.
So Georgia's Attorney General just made a statement about Adrianna Smith's case. He said that the state's abortion law, the Life Act, does not require hospitals to keep a pregnant, brain-dead woman on life support. He said removing life support isn't considered an abortion. That should be good news, right? But here's the terrifying part. Adrianna Smith is still on life support. her family still isn't being allowed to lay her to rest. And the hospital is still treating her body like an incubator. So if the law doesn't require it, why are they doing it? Let's talk about it. Why would a hospital make this horrific choice? Well, because in states like Georgia, hospitals live in fear of lawsuits from anti-abortion activists, public and political backlash, fetal personhood statuses that blur the line between caution and control. So they default to protecting themselves, not the patient, not the family, not the ethics. Even when the state says you didn't have to do this, they do it anyway because they've already internalized a system where a fetus has more legal protection than a woman. And here's the harder question. Who benefits? Not the family, not the fetus. There's no guarantee it will survive. Not the doctors who are traumatized, not the nurses who know this is wrong. So who benefits? Institutions, ideologues, lawmakers who want to normalize state control over pregnant bodies. And maybe even medical systems collecting data on prolonged gestation after brain death. Something that's barely studied and ethically horrifying. It wouldn't be the first time that Black female bodies are studied, exploited, examined. This isn't about saving a life. This is about sending a message. Your body isn't yours, not if you're pregnant, not even after you're gone. So why does this still threaten us all? Because the AG's statement, it's not law. It's not a court ruling. It doesn't protect the next Adrianna. If no one challenges this in court, it still sets a precedent, a silent one. It tells hospitals, play it safe, use the body, don't risk your funding. It tells families, you don't get to decide. And it tells women, pregnancy overrides your humanity. I'm glad the Attorney General clarified the law. But Adrianna's family still has no justice, and our rights are still hanging by a thread. This is the moment we have to ask who gets protected in this system and who gets used. Say her name. Demand a case. And keep asking the hard questions. Because if we stop now, this won't be the last time a woman is kept alive just to be used.
What has happened to Adrianna Smith is beyond repugnant and heartbreaking. And I cannot imagine how her family is feeling in this moment or how they will ever recover from this whirlwind, not only of this loss, but having to watch their loved one be used in this manner by their own. Government has decided that it is okay to use a Black woman's body for medical experimentation as a political pawn is so beyond reproach. I'm genuinely speechless. There is no coming back from this moment. The only reason Adrianna passed in the first place is because her health was ignored. And we do that to Black women in this country every day. Women were told that we were being hysterical when we said that would be overturned. And it has gotten so much markedly worse ever since. And it was just 3 years ago. 3 years ago, and now we are experimenting on a young woman who had a family. Unbelievable.
So, I'm going to tell you a story about Adrianna Smith. She was a 32-year-old woman who was a nurse. She was 9 weeks pregnant. Something happened where she was having headaches or something like that. She went to the doctor. They just gave her something for the headaches, I guess. They did not do any kind of examinations or CAT scans or anything like that. And subsequently, she ended up deteriorating and she was declared brain dead. Now, at this point today, they have been, up until now, been keeping her body alive because of her unborn fetus. Now, keep in mind, the time of this incident, she was 9 weeks. And now it's been, I believe, 3 months, 90 days. So the hospital is telling her family that they are keeping her body alive for the sake of the unborn child. Now, really, since when have Black Lives mattered? Since when? Since when have Black lives mattered? Black children, Black women, pregnant women, since when? So I say that to say that there's a lot of skepticism about what the medical staff is doing with regard to keeping this woman's corpse alive, because she is been declared brain dead, no brain activity whatsoever. And it's been like this for the last 90 days. Now, the family is given no choice. Whatever their feelings are, whatever their wishes are being completely ignored. And it is almost as if this woman and her unborn child are a ward of the state, and the state has decided, or the local government in Georgia has decided, that they can keep her corpse alive and do whatever they want to do up until whenever they feel like they want to. They are not listening to what the family wants. They don't care what the family wants. They have decided that this is their property. That Adrianna Smith, who is no longer, is their property, and so is her unborn fetus. They have decided they can do whatever they want without any regard to what the family wants. Now, that sounds like slavery to me. So you own this property. So it's not a person, it's a property, and you own it. So it doesn't matter what her loved ones want or what they know that she would have wanted for herself. Would she have wanted her corpse kept alive? Who's paying for all of this? Who's paying for this? Who's going to be on the hook for these medical bills? And if this child does, and what kind of quality of life is it going to have? And who's going to take care of that? Who is going to be expected to take care of this child who may be disabled severely if the child survives at all? So who is all this going to fall onto? The local government, the doctors, the nurses, the medical staff? No. When they're done with her corpse, they're going to dump this off onto the family, let the family deal with it once they've gotten done what they want. Because whatever they're doing, what people on here are concerned about is that they are simply experimenting on this corpse, this who used to be Adrianna Smith. Because she is brain dead, there's no brain activity. That means that her body is not functioning as hormones and things like that as a body would when a woman is pregnant. The body knows what to do and to sustain the life of the baby. So everything that is being done medically, and all of these chemicals are being introduced into the corpse's body to keep it alive, supposedly to save the unborn child. But again, I say, when have Black lives mattered? So, and I guess, like, for me, when I refer to this being like slavery, I'm talking about in the aspect of property ownership, because the slaves were considered property, not people. And that's what this sounds like. Take the wishes of the family. The family has no say. That part of it sounds like slavery, because it sounds like the government has decided that they own this body. They own this experiment, and they're going to do what they want to do. Nobody's going to stop them. And it's just sad, because we see it happening, we hear about it, we know it's happening, and the family is really, really reaching out. But who is going to step up and help these people? What attorneys are going to step in and say, look, you are violating some law? So far, I've heard nothing where any attorneys have stepped forward and say, hey, let's look and see if this is legal and let's help this family. I have not seen or heard of anything of that. But why hasn't that been done? Again, when have Black lives really mattered? That's what it is.